You have to turn this knob over. How do you turn this over? Turn it over like this.
Hasn't got a swivel on there. I think that's.
Oh, that's it.
Oh, there we go.
Got it.
Yeah.
Like this, right? This is with the camera, right? Is it line with the camera? Yeah, I think so, yeah. Okay. The audience outside can see it. Yeah, I can see that. It is with the line. Okay. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Yashodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yashodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yamunatira Vanachari Yamunatira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Yashodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yamunatira Vanachari अंतर्राष्ट्रीय भगवद गीता की जय श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय समवेत भक्तविंद की जय निताय गौर प्रेमानंदी हरि हरि बोल ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So reading from Bhagavad Gita as it is, commentary by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, founder and chair of the International Society for Krishna Consciousness, Chapter 10, text number 25. So, is it on the board? No. I'll go through myself without much time. I'll just go through myself. Not much time. So, Maharishinam Brigu Aham Giram Asam Ekam Akskaram Yagyanam Japa Yagnosmin Stitanam Himalayana Maharishinam Brigu Aham Giram Asam Ekam Askaram Yagyanam Japa Yagyanosmin Yagyanam Himalayana Maharishi Bhigu Aham Giram Asa Ekam Askaram Yagyanam Japa Yagyosmin Swadanam Himalayana. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. Of the great sages, I am Bhigu. Of vibration, I am the transcendental Om. Of sacrifices, I am chanting of the holy name, Japa. And of immovable things, I am the Himalayas. Brahma, the first living creature within the universe, created several sons for the propagation of various kinds of species. Among these sons, Bhrigu is the most powerful sage. Of all the transcendental vibration, Omkara represents Krishna. Of all sacrifices, chanting of the Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. It is purest representation of Krishna. Sometimes animal sacrifices are recommended. But in the sacrifice of Hare Krishna, there is no question of violence. It is simplest and the purest. Whatever is sublime in the world is representation of Krishna. Therefore, the Himalayas, the greatest mountain in the world, also represent Him. The mountain named Meru was mentioned in the previous verse. Meru is sometimes movable, whereas the Himalayas are never movable. Thus, the Himalayas are greater than Meru. Om Agyanti Mandasya Gana Gana Salakya Chakshurumilita Mena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Shri Chaitanya Mano Vishtam Stapidam Inabhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Namo Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasaya Bhutale Srimati Bhaktivedanta Swami Iti Namine Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Prachayane Nirvishesha Sunyavadi Paschatya Satayane Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadada Sivasadi Gaur Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare. So there's a letter by Srila Prabhupada explaining what is Om. The real meaning of Omkara. Regarding Omkara, you may know that Om is the impersonal sound form of Krishna. Those who are unable to utter immediately the sweet name of Krishna, they are recommended to chant Om. Just like a child is taught to make a particular type of sound, and thus he learns the name of the father and mother and relatives. That is the beginning. So in the beginning, Om is right, vibration of transcendental sound. The meaning is to address the Supreme Lord. Our business is directly with the Supreme Lord. Impersonal feature of the Lord is just like the illumination of a lamp. The lamp is an important thing. You will gradually understand all these features of the absolute truth if you read Bhagavad Gita and adhere to regular principles. Srila Prabhupada, Harold Taraf, 15th/11/69. So, Prabhupada also explained how, in his calendar quotes, how the Om doesn't manifest Krishna in person. From Om, the Vedic literatures come in, but Krishna's form doesn't manifest from Om. Hare Krishna contains Om. So by chanting Hare Krishna, then Krishna's form manifests also. So Prabhupada mentions that in the 8th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. In one of the purports, he says that. And also with chanting Hare Krishna, there is more flexibility. There is no hard and fast rules. With Om, you have to sit in a certain place, in a certain environment like that. So, the holy name is present in all ages at all times. But in other ages, it's very hard for people to take shelter of the holy name. The pride is too much. So, in the 11th canto, 5th chapter, 37th text, Prabhupada explains this a little bit. He says, according to Sridhar Swami, even in previous ages, such as Satyayuga, it was not possible for the living entities to achieve perfection that is available in Kali Yuga. Sri Jiva Goswami has explained this as follows. In former ages, such as Satyayuga, human beings were perfectly qualified and easily performed even the most difficult spiritual processes, meditating for many thousands of years, practically without eating and sleeping. Thus, although in any age one who completely takes shelter of the Lord's holy name gets full perfection, the highly qualified inhabitants of Satyayuga did not consider that merely by moving the tongue and lips, chanting the Lord's holy name is a complete process, and that the Lord's holy name, is the only shelter within the universe. So, in other ages, people had more opulences, more abilities to go to higher planets. Even we see, even in modern days, people who are rich, they can't take shelter of holy name completely. There was a devotee, he buys and sells houses, and he's speaking to one rich man, and he told him the significance of Bhagavad Gita. And the rich man said, it doesn't apply to me. So we see even wealth can cover someone's vision. That's why he says, Brahmanas, they voluntarily remain poverty-stricken. Wealth of a Brahman is austerity. He only takes what he needs. He doesn't take more than what he needs. There's one King Krishna Chandra. He met a Brahmana in near Mayapur, in one of those places. And the Brahmana had 12 disciples. He was very, very simple. So Krishna Chandra, he came to this Brahmana in a disguise and said, I want to serve you. The Brahmana said, I'm happy with what I have. I'm living a simple life, eating not so much opulence. My disciples beg for me. I don't need all this opulence. So opulences can be used for Krishna's service. Prabhupada says in calendars, quotes how those who have opulence can easily forget Krishna. So we see in the lives of our acharyas how they lived a simple life. They didn't have an opulent life. They live in a simple way, maintain their chanting and associate with advanced devotees. They kept what they need, but they didn't keep too much. Because in Kali Yuga, life is too short. And the blessing of Kali Yuga is by chanting Hare Krishna, you go back to Godhead quick. You can go back to Krishna very quick. That's the blessing of Kali Yuga. So you can say, in one sense, how, if you analyze opulence, you can say Prabhupada is the most opulent in the sense that within 11 years he did 4 crores of rupees, or so much money he achieved. He only came with 40 rupees, but he had preached 4 crores, opened 108 temples, translated over 70 books, farm communities, restaurants. So there is no businessman who can compare with Prabhupada. In a short time he did all that. So that's opulence. But initially, when Prabhupada started the mission, he was poverty-stricken. He had nothing. Everything got taken away. Prabhupada was preaching in Delhi by himself at some point, staying from different houses. At some point in America, devotees had a place near where they do these famous actors do their things, Hollywood or something, Bollywood, Hollywood, right? And they got a house nearby that place in that center. They got a room given to them. So the devotees were doing their kirtans, and the actors got so disturbed, and they didn't allow them to stay there. They put them on the streets. So devotees were moving around different places. And Prabhupada wrote to the devotees saying that I did the same thing as you did. I depended on Krishna. And when Krishna wants, a temple will manifest. So just carry on preaching. So this is the real adventure in Krishna consciousness. People are looking for some adventure. They were looking for some... But in this world, you can't satisfy anyone fully. It's hard to satisfy people in this world. But to satisfy Krishna is easy because he just wants your devotion. He doesn't want anything, he just wants your devotion. And you cultivate the proper service mood, and he'll look after you. So, the real wealth is to be part of this Krishna consciousness movement. That's the real wealth. Because Prabhupada says in his purports in the Srimad Bhagavatam how see if I can find. Got it here. Okay. So this is an interesting purport showing the power of the Hare Krishna movement. How if you take shelter of this process which Prabhupada has given and you stay in a society of devotees, you get protected even if difficult times come. So Prabhupada is giving an interesting purport here. He says, the Lord says in Bhagavad Gita 4.7, Yada yada hi dharmasya glani bhavati bharata abhutanam dharmasa tadama sajami aham. Whenever and whenever there is a decline in religious practice or descendant of Bharata, a predominant rise of religion, at that time I descend myself. In this age, at the present moment, there are inordinate discrepancies in discharge of human duties. Human life is meant for God realization. But unfortunately, the materialistic civilization is stressing only the senses of the body, not understanding the living force within the body. As clearly stated in Bhagavad Gita 2.13, within the body is the body's proprietor and the living force, which is more important. But human society has become so fallen that instead of understanding the living force within the body, people have become busy with external things. This is a discrepancy in human duties. Therefore, Krishna has taken birth or taken shelter within the womb of the Krishna consciousness movement. Men of Kamsa's class, therefore, are very much afraid, are very busy trying to stop this movement. Especially in the Western countries, one politician has remarked that the Krishna consciousness movement is spreading like an epidemic, that if not checked immediately within 10 years, it may capture government power. There is, of course, such potency in the Krishna consciousness movement, as stated by the authority in Chaitanya Charitamrita, Alila 17:22, Kali Kale Name Rupe Krishna Avatar. In this age, Krishna has appeared in the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. The Krishna conscious movement is spreading like wildfire all over the world, and it will go on doing so. Men who are like Kamsa are very much afraid of this movement's progress and acceptance by the younger generations. But as Krishna could not be killed by Kamsa, this movement cannot be checked by men of Kamsa's class. The movement will go on increasing more and more, provided the leaders of the movement remain firmly Krishna conscious by following the regular principles and primary activities of chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra. So this is just to show how the power of this movement is. In modern times, you can see the world situation is not stable. Things are getting disturbed. But Prabhupada, in the beginning when he came in 1969 to England, he tried to educate the leaders, and they didn't open for that. They weren't open for the education. They were more stuck in their own views and ways. And the Prabhupada format was preach to the masses. By preaching to the masses, then leaders will manifest. So then Rameshwar Prabhu, who helped Prabhupada translate Chaitanya Charitamrita in 2 months, he asked Prabhupada some questions. He said, how will things progress in the future? So Prabhupada said, in the future, there'll be an awakening in people's consciousness. Jai Shri Radha Gokulanda ki jai. There'll be awakening in people's consciousness, and when people read these books which I have written, they will look for devotees. They will not work for politicians. Not everyone will join the temple. Many will live outside, they may follow the different religious paths, but they'll respect Prabhupada's books. This is why Prabhupada said, 50% of my project is done, another 50% is Varnashram. Varnashram is to help people become purified from their attachments. So in this way, harmony will be in society. So there are many quotes about the potency of the holy name. I give you a few quotes. There was one king, Narasimha Nandan, in Calcutta, hundreds of years back. There was one rebel in India. He was destroying the villages and cities, and he had like 10,000 soldiers under him, helping him massacre all over cities and villages in India. And this king, Narasimha, heard about this person. So he told his citizens, we're going to be chanting Hare Krishna mantra all night, kirtan. So as they were doing that, in those times they used to use gunpowder for ammunitions, and so at midnight, 4 bang, bang, bang noises went off. And the king asked his spy to go and find out where that noise is coming from. So he went to find out, and then his deity of Madan Mohan, Krishna's deity of Madan Mohan, expanded in huge form, in cannonballs in both hands. And 4 bang, bang, bang noises went out, all the 10,000 soldiers dead. So this King Narasimhananda, next day he went to see this deity Madan Mohan. This deity is in Crawley now, Jaipur. And Krishna had gunpowder over his clothes. And Krishna was smiling. So that's one example to show the potency of the Maha Mantra. How we can protect you from all negative things. Yeah. So there was another one, Haridas Thakur. He was beaten in 22 marketplaces. Generally, personalized in 3 marketplaces. But Haridas Thakur survived in 22 marketplaces. And the gods were beating him, wanting him to die, but he wouldn't die. So the gods told him, please die, because if you don't die, the king's going to take our life. So Haridas Thakur, being a mystic, he just stopped breathing. So they threw him in the king said, you can't bury him because he's not pure. You throw him in the Ganga. So see, a Muslim have different rules. So they threw him in Ganga, and then as he was floating down, he came out again, and he was chanting Hare Krishna. So that's another example to show the importance of the Maha Mantra. And Prabhupada also commented about Prahlad Maharaj, how he was tortured Hiranyakashipu, his father, was trying to kill him in many different ways. Threw him off a cliff, threw him into the ocean, put him into boiling oil, put him into poisonous snakes, under wild elephants. Still Prahlad would not die. So Prabhupada said, by chanting the Hare Krishna mantra, you get the same protection like Prahlad Maharaj got. So I had an instance in central London one time, Saturday night, one Indian youth came to me and he said, you Hare Krishna are sentimentalists. So I said, okay, if you can stop the Hare Krishna mantra being spread around the world, I'll become your follower. And when I looked around, he disappeared. So this shows how the potency of the Maha Mantra is very powerful. We have to learn the process how to do it. That's it. Actually, in Srila Prabhupada's time, it was more difficult to take to Krishna consciousness than it is now. Because in Prabhupada's time, all the books were out. Prabhupada was there, he was translating. When tapes would come out, devotees would sit around one tape, One book would come out, they would share the book. But now everything's out. You can get it, you just have to read it. So in Prabhupada's time, it was more difficult in that sense. But now, it's much easier, because everything is there. Only thing is now, because of modern technology, people have become lazy. They became enamored by modern technology. And because they're into modern technology, then they have less time for chanting and reading Prabhupada's book. So, this is Maya's way of testing us. Because Prabhupada said Maya is Krishna's police agent. She's got 2 purposes, to see whether you want to serve Krishna or disturb Krishna. So in the beginning, if you want to serve Krishna, she may test you a little bit to see how sincere you are. If you're sincere, then she will allow you to serve Krishna. But if you want to disturb Krishna, she's got 2 potencies. Patiyatmika, Ariyatmika. So, Ariyatmika covers your vision, Patiyatmika pulls you down. So, Prabhupada explained, he said, it's not like Maya is strong, because our determinations of Krishna is not strong, that's why Maya takes us. But if we serve Krishna with determination, Maya cannot touch us. So, the example is there of Kala Krishnadas. He was traveling with Lord Chaitanya in South India. And he gave enamored by the Bhattarinis. There's a group of people who create their communities by alluring women, and they make out to be sannyasis and like this, and they have their own communities. So somehow this Kala Krishnadas got enamored by these people. So Lord Chaitanya immediately went there, and these people, they had weapons in their hands. They were going to attack Lord Chaitanya. So the weapons came out of their hands and started attacking them. So Lord Chaitanya challenged them. He said, I'm a sannyasi, you're meant to be sannyasi. Why are you taking my servant away? Lord Chaitanya pulled him out. So that's an example to show that if you turn one, spiritual life is like a razor's edge, so you have to be very, very sincere and strict, serious. It's like if you're trying to cross a river or a lake with two boats, one leg each on each boat, it's not going to happen. If you want to keep one foot in Maya, one foot in Krishna, it's not going to happen. So human life, we got this high intelligence to become self-realized, and animals go by instincts, human beings go by high intelligence. So if we use this high intelligence, then our progress in Krishna consciousness will become very quick. So there's another instance about the potency of the holy name. So, okay, let's see. So this is the story of Shyamananda. He appeared in Orissa quite a few hundred years ago. 400 years ago. By touring Orissa, Shyamananda Prabhu engaged everyone he met in Nam Sankirtan. By his divine influence, when the country appeared to be turning Vaishnavism, in one town, Shaykh Khan, a devout Muslim ruler determined to protect his subjects from being misled, went with his soldiers to confront Shyamananda and his Sankirtan procession. If you continue this chanting, Shah Khan threatened, I will have you all flogged and chained. Shyamananda relented and went home with his devotees. But the next day, they all returned to the streets. Devotees were apprehensive, but Shyamananda was oblivious to everything except Lord Chaitanya's order and the bliss of chanting Krishna's holy names. Sher Khan soon heard of Shyamananda's boldness. Determined to take decisive action against the Vaishnava upstarts, Shah Khan and a convalescence of armed soldiers marched to the market place where Shyamananda's massive Sankirtan was underway. Shah Khan was not one for empty threats. His soldiers smashed the devotees' drums and tore the cymbals from their hands. But before they could do more, Shyamananda called out to Radha and Krishna. Shyamananda's chanting was like Prahlad's Maharaj's chanting as he was tortured by his father, or Haridas Thakur's chanting as he was whipped in the marketplaces. It was fully transcendental. Suddenly, the hair and the beards of the king and his soldiers caught fire. The flames quickly spread to their clothes and forced the entire army to seek shelter by jumping weapons all into the nearby lake. Humiliated before his subjects, Shah Khan and his men retreated to the palace, where the king sequestered himself in his quarters or isolated himself in his quarters, unable to comprehend what had happened and why. That night, Allah came to Shah Khan in a dream and angrily slapped him. Allah told the king that his name and the name of Krishna were the same, and that Lord Chaitanya was his most confidential form. The following day, the king again appeared before Shamananda and his chanting party, but without soldiers or weapons. This time he bowed down before Shamananda and begged forgiveness. Shah Khan requested to be initiated into the chanting of the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. He received the spiritual name Chaitanya Das, later became a permanent disciple of Shamananda Prabhu. Okay, Navabraja Mahime, Volume 5. Okay. So these are the stories to show the potency of the holy name. Any questions? Yeah, so example of Draupadi is there that she had faith in Krishna, but at the same time she had faith in the Pandavas at some point. So when her saris was being distrobed, she was looking towards them at some point. But when she couldn't save herself, then she put her both hands in the air, and then Krishna appeared. So the higher example is like the gopis. The gopis were just looking for Krishna. And Vrindadevi appeared to them and just guided them. So if you do the 1 month vrat, then Krishna will come to you. So if we follow the line of the acharyas, the authorized teachers, line of the acharyas, we follow their teachings, like Srila Prabhupada is teaching, then connection to Krishna is very easy. No questions, comments? Okay. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Bhagavad Gita ki jai. Hare Krishna. Up. You don't put it up. Just put it here. You don't put this up. You can put it up. Put it up. Okay, that's good. Let's sort it out. Whatever. That's good. Singer will come.
Shri Shri Radha Gokulanand ki, Shri Sitaram Lakshman Hanuman ki, Shri Gauranitai ki, Srila Prabhupada ki, Jai.